Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Camera Quick Cuts, a side series of Behind the Camera with Andy Games that focuses more on the streamers and content creators, the people who really helped shape Behind the Camera into what it is today. Today, my guest is Disney Dreamlight Valley streamer Belliewrld. It was an absolute pleasure to sit down with Belly and discuss what got her into streaming, the journey she's been on since, and it's honestly been an absolute joy to watch her go from strength to strength on her journey, and I'm really excited to share this conversation with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
So I have been a fan of streamers for a really long time. When I was in college, I had no off time. I was involved in a plethora of different things. I was on the track team. I was in a sorority. I was I was part of the orientation crew for new freshmen coming in. So my days, and then I was a double major, so I was just super, super busy. And any off time that I had, I would watch streamers mainly playing Fortnite. That was my favorite thing to watch. I didn't really watch much else at that time. This was 2017, 2018. And so I just was so fascinated with what they did. My favorite streamer, and I watched all the big streamers. My favorite was, and kind of still is, Tim the Tatman. I loved Tim. I think he's so funny. I'm just a huge fan. And then once TikTok kind of came around, I wasn't really watching a lot of lives, just kind of watching the content on there. And I was, spending my time working, all that. And so I wasn't on TikTok a whole bunch. And then I came across a speedrunner by the name, a Super Mario 64 speedrunner by the name of Newman B-Box.
Of course.
And started watching him when he first started speedrunning, because he was the first one that I saw. And I was just floored by the talent that it took to not only interact with chat, because I was really familiar with streaming from all the other people that I watched, but I was really floored by his talent of getting PBs and interacting with chat, staying super engaged. It was amazing. And then I started looking for more Mario 64 speedrunners, and that's when I found Logan. And then, of course, through Logan, I love that even though they both, you could say they both do the same thing, but they're so different. Logan does so many different categories. He does so many different games of speedrunning. It was really cool to see variety and all of that too. And then, of course, and then I came across your stream of doing the randomizers, and I was like, this is so cool. And so for a while, I'd been thinking about streaming for a while, but I didn't have a PC. And then I started playing Mario 64 again, and I realized very quickly, oh, I suck at this game. There is no way that I did one 16-star speed run. I did a couple, and my best time was 53 minutes for 16 stars.
Well, I mean, if you got one done, that's about normal for every single person's first go at it with a bit of practice. That's about normal. So, I mean, you can't write yourself off that quickly is all I can say about that,
No, that's totally fair. I was just going through it, and I was like, I gotta find something that maybe I just love to watch this, and what's right for me to stream isn't this. So then, time passed, and I've been a mod for both Logan and for Beats for a while. And I kind of spoke with them about hey, I'm thinking about a PC. This is the build I'm thinking. Is this a good build or anything like that? And they were both super, super kind and receptive. And very helpful to me and kind of like learning this stuff. And so then I also, I'm sure you're familiar with KCAT Gaming, because
Yes,
I met
yes.
her. I met her through Beats's Newman Beatbox's streams, and she started streaming a while back and was playing this game, Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Mm.
And to be perfectly honest, my first thought when I saw this game was, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand this game. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not a Sims girly.
Yeah.
I don't, this is so not for me. And I would tell my husband, I would say to JB, why is she playing this game? I seriously don't get it. Like, what the heck? And then he ended up later on, more time passed. He surprised me with the game, because I think he knew better than I did that I would just fall in love with it immediately. So that takes us to January of this year, where he got me this game, where he got me Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I just was like obsessed with it. And I still didn't have a PC at this time. Like, I was playing on the Switch. I was buying my PC. I just kept pushing it off. I was like, I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to spend the money. And it was because they are expensive. It's a huge investment.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so then we started looking into it a lot further. And I knew that if I streamed anything, it would likely be Disney Dreamlight Valley, mix in some variety games. I'd love to include some like Mario games. I've done a couple, but it's not the same as Disney Dreamlight Valley to me. Like, it's just not. And so then we got the PC and I started getting set up and doing it, and it's just been a whirlwind of like learning, of engaging, of getting to know, and like making true friendships with people that I've been able to like come across through doing this. And so yeah, that's kind of been my journey to get here, and there's still plenty that I can improve, plenty that I can do better, but yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
We're just, I think the best thing is just as long as you're trying to improve like every day. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I think as well, when it's come to you and getting into streaming, obviously, because you stream full-time, what, Monday to Friday, most of the days. But I think something that you've got down is your consistency in terms of what you play and the time that you're on, which is something that a lot of people don't like, either can't do or don't have the luxury of being able to do.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
when you started streaming, you were doing Dreamlight Valley, but I remember, I think, was it you got a capture card and then started doing you did Mario Rabbids for a bit, was it?
I started with Mario Rabbids.
With Mario started with
Actually.
Rabbids,
Like,
yes.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I started with Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I wasn't. I mean, I spent most of those lives like with just me in it, and that was like maybe 3 or 4 lives. Like, not, I didn't give it a lot of time, and then I just felt like, okay, maybe I should try something else. And I really like Mario Rabbids a lot. I think it's a super fun game. So then I tried doing that. And it was like, and it was great. Like, I had a lot of fun playing that, but the same kind of thing where I had like maybe 8 to 10 people every now and then in there. So like it was great. And then I just had this thought. I was like, I finished Mario Rabbids. I finished the storyline, and I was kind of like, I think I gotta give DLB another chance on stream. I think I gotta do it. And going back to like doing that again, it was crazy. I couldn't even believe it. I was getting like 20 to 30 people in there. I was like, holy crap, like, hi you guys, like, you want to watch me? Okay. Good morning, Araceli.
Yeah, because it's
But
really taken off
yes.
for you in like, especially in the last like couple of months with doing Dreamlight Valley. Like it has just taken off, and I go into your stream every time, and like, you're. I mean, I don't know too much about Dreamlight Valley. Like the bulk of what I
Sure.
know is from my wife playing it. She absolutely loves the game as well, and then from seeing your streams. Like so, I like the only thing I like in it too is it's like you said before, like The Sims. And again, that's not my
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
it's not really in
Totally.
my wheelhouse. But like, obviously, the good thing about them and when it comes to streaming is that they're almost like quite infinite because these games are constantly getting updated with DLCs and there's so much you can do. And it's, I mean, from the looks of it, you build like quite a nice community off it as well. Like,
Yeah.
especially with like, especially
Yeah.
considering all the people that you've known for the last few years from this, and with new people coming in who share that kind of love of the game. And like, how would you
Yeah.
say then, like the sort of learning curve of getting into streaming has been for you then over the last few months?
I so it's oh gosh, YouTube just becomes your best friend, doesn't it? You have to like there are so many questions that you have about like because at first I was just using TikTok Live Studio to set up my deck, and then I people just keep telling me like switch to OBS, switch to OBS, switch
Mm-hmm.
to OBS. And I'm like, okay, let's switch to OBS. So let's figure out this beast. And I was because I looked at OBS, like I had OBS and everything, but I had the slightest how to work it. That was a whole different
Mm-hmm.
challenge. So I was like, okay, I got to sit down, conquer the beast, and it took me about maybe like 4 hours. Um, but I was able to really like figure out the functionality, like figure out how it works. And now, like this deck that I built just for this, it took me 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
And so things like that are so helpful. I had the same challenges with Tickfinity. That was definitely difficult to like figure out the sounds. And my next step is definitely getting Tickfinity Pro because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that yet, and I know that there are certain things that are lacking because I haven't invested in that yet. But it figuring out those sounds has been kind of a challenge. And um, kind of what else has been really difficult. I mean, once you figure out the first couple sources, I think it's like pretty smooth sailing. But it is such a learning curve, and you really come to appreciate how much goes into this and like how much work it truly is. Um, and I am so grateful to be able to stream at consistent times every
Yeah.
day. I'm typically never live for less than 4 hours on like Monday through Friday, so like that's always helpful. But you think there are so many things that you're like, how can I make that? How can I grow this, and how can I make this interactive so that the people who are for everyone, but subscribers especially, like how can I make sure that they're getting a good experience for what they've put into me already, because that's just such an honor that they're willing to do that just to watch me and use the emotes that I make and all of those things. Like they're taking, just like I'm taking my time out of my day to build this and try to grow this, like they're taking time out of their day to watch.
Yeah.
So, and participate and be actively involved.
Absolutely. And like, I think it's very important that you touched on that because there is a lot of work that goes into it. And like, it's a lot more than sometimes the casual viewer might not necessarily understand when it, and like, it comes from things to like your setup, even your background, what's behind you, like for example,
Yeah.
take your background, you see the WWE sign, and there's a few little other
Yeah.
bits and pieces. There's a lot of like identifiable things, and then there's audio quality. Audio quality is a huge one because I know there's a lot of people who will scroll away because of bad audio. And then
Sure.
there's viewer incentives, engagement, like how well you can respond to your chat, and then obviously with the sounds as well, like you say with Tickfinity Pro, because obviously whenever Someone gives a heart me in your stream, it's the Lidl Lidl Lee Patrick Star, which is just a
Yes.
great, it's just a great sound. And like it's that sort of thing. It's familiar, it's gonna resonate with a lot of people. And like, I mean, to me, it's just these little kind of things I think you've picked up in like the first few months that a lot of streamers take sometimes years to pick up. And like it is one of those things, like you say, you have to kind of almost give back to the people who are giving into you as well, because they're
For
investing
sure.
so much time into watching you. And then obviously there's the subscription aspect of it. And how can you kind of like make that more worth it? How can you really kind of bump that up? It's but it is 100%, like every day is like a sort of learning curve. Like in every single stream you do, it's like kind of, okay, I could do this. And in a way that kind of, I think keeps it really fun. Like obviously I don't stream anymore, but like I did have that same
Sure.
kind of thing when I did. um
Right.
so based around that, then, like obviously, with your schedule, you did take a couple of weeks off because you moved, but when you're back straight into it, like what do you do to avoid burnout? Because that's like, because you're very, very consistent in what you do. And like I think one of the things you're known for is your positive attitude when it comes to streaming. So just what sort of measures do you take to sort of avoid burnout?
So, oh man. So that one I'm still learning. I will be perfectly honest. I'm still learning. But I did speak with my husband about this before, maybe like last week or 2 weeks ago, because I did one 8 hour stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I was super excited to do it. I was very happy to do it. And I knew it was just something I wanted to like accomplish. I remember getting to hour four. Or no, I was 4.5 hours in. And I hit this wall. I hit this absolute wall. And I was like, how the heck am I going to make it to 8 hours? Like, how the heck am I going to keep people engaged? How am I going to keep my energy up? Like, um, how am I going to do this? I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can do this. And then I was like, okay, just like, you have this voice in your head and you're just like, okay, shut up, just do it. You could do it. Like, let's go. And then I like was like, don't stop looking at the clock and like focus on the game, focus on your people, focus on the reason why you do this. And that's when I saw that we were at hour 7. And I was like, we're smooth sailing now, like I can totally do this. And so that was like honestly one of my biggest challenges was that 8 hour stream. Will I do it again? I hope so. I think jumping into it like immediately was probably not the right call
Mm-hmm.
of, with maybe having a little bit. I didn't have the I didn't have the experience that I needed to be able to like manage that appropriately, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so then but through that, it did help to like, for me to learn my limitations. Like, okay, if I want to like give myself to this and be at 100% with everybody, like, let's do 4 hours, let's do the, 4 hours a week. And then, um, that is something that I know is going to work out. And Sydney actually brings up a good point in the comments on my stream. She mentioned that, like, because she's one of my mods, and we've talked in the past too about like, if we were to do the 8 hour again, maybe we would do 4 hours in the morning and then 4 hours
Yeah.
at night. So then we can also kind of like, kind of hit different, not necessarily markets, but like different people, because we do have
Yeah.
so many people that are across the world. And, those sometimes the night streams for me are, morning streams for them. And like it's great timing for them. So there's definitely, we have like bounce back ideas. And thank you, Sydney, for the reminder on that. But I think, there's definitely ways to like, okay, I'd love to do this again. How can we make it different to maybe improve it? There definitely, occasionally, I still do get some burnout, which is why I really do have those like the weekends to
Yeah.
kind of try my best to like relax and rejuvenate and like just okay, then when Monday comes, I'm ready. And obviously Wednesday is our like biggest day of the week because that's when the updates come out for DLB. And so the biggest thing is like as long as I am giving 150% on Wednesday and 100% on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, like I feel like I did well. The other thing with burnout that I would say that I wanted to mention too is the struggle with content creating on top of going
Yeah,
live. That
absolutely.
is a really difficult beast to conquer, and I have failed to conquer that beast at this point in my life. So I am still working towards that. I think it's something that will just take time, and I kind of need to gradually change so that it maybe isn't changing my schedule or changing my like what I'm used to too much, and just kind of gradually improving that. Like I rarely make videos before I go live that I'm going live. I rarely I'm not doing as many highlight videos as I should be doing. Like there's plenty of things that I could name off to you right now where I'm like, here's where I haven't been enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the kind of funny thing for me about it, especially when it comes to like content creation. Streaming's the easiest part of it. Even if you're having a bad day and you're just not really feeling into it, it can just be so cathartic. You're going on playing a game, you're talking to your community, having a great time, great conversation with them, and the clipping aspect of it, it it can suck a lot, to be honest. Like it's really not like the most fun to do, unless it's a case sometimes where you know exactly what you're going to clip. Something happens, you're like, I must go back and
Right.
clip that, make a note of it. But
Right.
that's not easy in itself to do either. You know, you really just kind of have to be so on the ball with it. And like I don't think it's really something that anybody has truly mastered. Like sometimes you just can't find the right thing. And the way I look at like making clips and things like that when it comes to content is it just takes the one clip for anything to happen and everything else is like kind of already there, which is kind of, I mean, maybe I'm looking at that in too safe of a way, but on the topic of clips as well, like even before you streamed, you used to make a lot of TikToks as well.
I did.
And then there was like a bit of a gap before then you started streaming. So was back then, a couple of years back, was that just a bit of fun just because why not?
Yeah.
Like, you know, just kind of, you just seen like, well, when people make clips, like if they didn't stream, it was like a lot of it was like not hopping on trends as such, but you know they'll maybe hear a sound or like a green screen and think that's kind of funny. I can relate this to something. Like
At,
what was
at
this whole thing
first
behind that?
At first, it was like you said, like just a bit of fun, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I was making like 5 videos a day, and posting 5 videos a day, so like it was a lot, and so at first it was like just fun. Like I saw like just really funny sounds, and I was like, oh, I could use that, and then I did one that had to do with Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
I did one that had to do with Shrek, and I think that one got like it didn't get a million, but I think it got like 500,000 views. I don't
Oh
remember
wow.
how many views it got, but it was a lot. Like like the biggest one I had at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, okay, maybe I should like try hopping on trends and like seeing what happens. And so then I did, and I did one sound, and it was like a marriage. It was like like a chat between a husband and a wife,
Yeah.
and the wife is telling him that I have a headache, and he's like, well, it's probably because of you not drinking water, like this, like here's all the reasons you have the headache. And she's like, and at the end she's like, no, it's the rain. And I just thought it was so funny. And so I posted that one, and it got 1.5 million
Oh
views.
wow.
So that was where I got like that's where I really like kind of was able to like expand my base. And then my videos after that were pretty significant, like pretty consistently in the like between like 7,000 to like 15,000 views a post. So it was like like I was getting quite a bit. Like it was really fun. And then I just kind of had like a shift in life, I guess, per se.
Yeah.
And I just kind of quit it. I feel like basically I just one day totally stopped. I'm sure that I wasn't I didn't really know the people in there. Like, and I would go live just to like chat like this every now and then, just to talk with the chat, but it wasn't exactly like something I was super passionate
Yeah.
about. And I also wanted, I was going for other promotions at work. So I was like working a lot more hours too, which kind of pushed me to stop. And so then I just kind of gave it up out of nowhere. And to be honest, like I like this so much better, but I will say that, I think I had like 5,500 followers when I stopped posting on TikTok. And when I started, I had about like 45, maybe 4,500. So I lost like maybe 1,000, little over 1,000 followers when I, at the, from my peak,
Yeah.
where I was at.
Yeah.
Just because you're not posting anymore,
Well,
which
that's
is
it. Yeah.
completely understandable. And so then because I had that base though, I think that really did help with the algorithm for me because I think once TikTok saw my consistency, that's when it started to like push my content a little bit more, if that makes sense. That's my theory behind the whole thing. I'm no expert at TikTok algorithms, that's for sure. But I think that is kind of where it started. So, and then my husband, who is so supportive, loves to do that. So
Incredible.
it's very, very sweet.
Yeah, and like it's such an interesting thing because when you break down content creation into that versus like between just making videos, doing the occasional talking live and things like that, there's like a distinct difference I think with that, because compare that to when you're streaming, the only thing missing is community. When you're just making videos that are getting like so many views and comments and you get a load of follows out of them, it just doesn't add up the same, like, because there's like that sort of lack of familiarity with the people when you go live to talk. Like, you don't necessarily always get the same people coming into your live, but when you are streaming, like, and you have your Discord, you've got the same people coming in, they all know when to expect you and everything like that. It's like the difference is just like night and day, and like I can 100% see why you would think then doing what you're doing now is like 10 times better and certainly more fulfilling.
Yes. Well, and I think we have almost 300 people in the Discord.
That's amazing.
It has like
incredible.
It's grown so much, and people have been so helpful in there to like, hey, I'm working on this quest and I need 30 softwood. Is anybody available to help me? And we could and like myself or anybody else has like happily jumped in to do that. Sylvie, thank you for the heart me and the go popular. Appreciate you. And so it's been super, super nice that like not only did I want to be able to like help people with things like that, like looking at dream snaps, which is a photo competition that you do every week to you basically win a currency in the game to buy premium shop items. Yeah. That's what the competition is for, right? And so just to be able to have camaraderie around everything that goes on in the game, and like you said, that is consistently updating all the time, number one, it's a great game to stream because of that. Yeah. So because it just provides so much variety, so many new things that partially I don't even have to worry about doing. I just have to worry about what they're coming out with, and I'm happy. So I'm always happy for anyone new, and that was before I started streaming. I obviously have my opinions of like, okay, I want to see this Disney character, I want to see this Disney character, but it's been really great that not only did I want to help all these people, but these people have come into the community wanting to help just as much. And honestly, there are people that are in there that have helped much more than me. Much more than me. So it's a really beautiful thing. And and especially like you said, I moved across the country. I don't know anybody here. I'm still kind of gathering my bearings and everything, but I have felt like I've made a million friends in my new place because of this.
Yeah.
So that's been amazing.
Yeah, of course. And that's such an important thing as well. Like it really does just make everything so much more worth it and just fulfilling. And it's just nice to sort of have that connection with these people and just really, it just is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Belly, thank you so much for your time today. I really, really appreciate you
Of
joining me on Behind the
course.
Camera Quick Cuts. It's just been such a pleasure chatting to you, really getting to know you a little bit better and about your journey and everything. For everybody listening, definitely, if you don't already, go follow Belliewrld. She's an amazing the Disney Dreamlight Valley streamer. And if you have any final thoughts, Belly, then the floor is yours.
Well, I appreciate it. We've known each other for a couple years now from the Mario 64 speed running and the randomizer. And I will say, and I think a lot of people feel the same that it is in your community. We miss your speed runs. We miss the randomizer. So, I mean, feel free to throw it in every now and then if you want to. It might be kind of fun for a little nostalgia moment. But I really appreciate you like reaching out and chatting with me. It's been so great to like see what you've been doing, especially like in the past year, how much has changed.
Yeah.
And so I love that you do this. I think you've been just absolutely wonderful to so many streamers that I watch too. So, and to be part of that list is it. I'm really honored. So I really appreciate that greatly.
Well,
Thank you,
thank you.
Andy.
Thank you so much. That really means the world. And maybe one day we'll get back to some randomizers. Maybe one day. I'm not fully shutting the door on it, but we'll
I
see.
love it.
We'll see. But once again, Belly, thank you so much for your time. It has been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and take care.
You too, Andy. Have a good night.